All right, first off, welcome everyone, and thank you for checking out my video today. Hopefully you'll find this informative, and if you do, please hit the like button, and please leave any comments you have. My goal today is to compare the different card grading companies. This video is going to be geared more towards the beginner and intermediate card collectors. Most people who are experienced and been doing this for many years, they don't need a video like this. They're already set in their ways and they know what they're doing. But my goal with this was to compare 3 different grading companies, and I did some research, spent some money, and I'll explain what I did and what I've learned and share that information with you. So hopefully this is informative. There are a lot of videos online that you can watch, people breaking open packages from all the different grading companies and sharing their experiences. I wanted to be able to show you through grading the same cards through various companies what I've learned. So we'll get started. First, I got 3 cards in this video to start things off. Beckett Grading Company over on the left. There's a 1983 Topps Rickey Henderson. In the middle is a PSA LeBron James rookie 2003 Bowman, and then a 1998 Topps Chrome of Peyton Manning graded by GMA. So I'll start right off with the Beckett, and this Beckett's a very established and well-known company, been on the market a lot of years, and I would say case-wise, I do believe Beckett is the best on the market. Very thick slab that they use, and they break down their grading scale. You can see it here, centering, edges, corners, and surface. Then they give you an overall score. Great company, and they have their online registry, so you can go on and punch in your number for any of their grading levels. They have various levels that they use, but this one is one of their higher end. BCCG is another grading company under Beckett, but it's more of a lower level, cheaper option for people who want to get their cards cased. But very, very good company, well established. And same thing with PSA. If you read a lot of discussion boards online for card grading, there's sort of the big 3 that everyone talks about, and PSA and Beckett are both in there. PSA has been around a long time as well. I've used them before. You can actually find these cardboards online, discussion boards and groups on Facebook and such, where you can group cards together collectively and send them in bulk to get them graded. And I've done that a few times in the past. Well-established company, and they put out a great product like Beckett. Their slabs are a little thinner, and not quite the same size, a little taller, but still very good product. Their tags that they put in here are very good, and they're all serialized and numbered, so you can track them as well through their site when you get them graded. The last one is GMA. They've been around a little while, but less well known than the others. Considered on the lower end by many card collectors. I've been very impressed with them. I've shipped off a few large shipments of cards, and been very happy with the results of this. They're the cheapest by far. Right now, $3.50 a card. If you send over 100 cards, it's $3 per card, and they slab them, put the sticker in here, and give what I've considered pretty fair grades overall from what I've seen. There's a lot of people who disagree with these lower level companies, and there's a lot of them on the market, and I'm certain that not all of them are legitimate and have their varying issues. I've been impressed with GMA. I've been impressed with their turnaround time. In all my shipments that I've sent, I've mailed them off, and 7 days later they've been sitting back on my doorstep, fully graded, and that kind of service does not exist with the other 2. I just sent off a shipment through PSA and got those back, and the total turnaround time from the time I mailed them to receiving them back was approximately 35 days. And that was for their baseline $499 and under value for cards, which is $20 per card. And that's the going rate for a standard PSA grade. You can get them cheaper if you send them in bulk. You can get them down as low as, I believe, $8 a card. But when you ship them in bulk, they're taking, right now, their website shows over 100 days plus to grade and get back to you. Also, their timeline does not start until they accept their cards, not when they're received in mailing, but when they're accepted and entered into their system. So that's something to keep in mind with them. So here's what I did. I sent off some cards to GMA, and I had a lot of 10 cards, and these are the tags that came out of there. I'll start first by telling you 2 things I don't like about GMA. They're not big, but a little bothersome. Obviously, for $3.50 a card, you can't be too picky. They're tags that they put in the slabs. They tear apart, and they don't always tear clean. So sometimes you get ones that don't look bad, and then other times you get ones like these where you can clearly see the tear line on them, and that happens sometimes. But compared to their old tags, I like their new ones much better. And then they do not have an online registry, so they are numbered. All of their cards are numbered, as you see here on this Peyton Manning, and maybe someday they'll have a registry that you can check. As far as I know, no one's trying to replicate GMA grading out there on the market because they aren't quite there value-wise. A card graded 8.5 through GMA versus the same card graded 8.5 through PSA carries a far different value. So what I wanted to do is, I've been grading cards for a while, been in the business for over 20 years personally, and I do this on the side. This isn't my professional work, but I do enjoy it, and it's a fun hobby to get into, and I really don't like paying $20 a card to get them graded and just to have for future to pass down to my kids and such. But I am much more likely to spend the $3 or $3.50 a card and get the same product back or very similar. But one of the things that people have been really upset with GMA, or people selling GMA cards on eBay and such, is they don't think that the grades stack up to PSA. So what I wanted to do was get a true comparison of the grades. The only way to do that is to take the cards that are graded by GMA and send them off to PSA, or vice versa, to see what happens. So what I did was I had 10 cards, and I tried to get a mix of years and types of cards. And so I took a Michael Jordan 1986 Flair sticker, one of his rookie cards, graded an 8 through GMA. I took a 1980 Topps Bird, Magic, and Julius Erving rookie, and sent that off. That was graded an 8. Kevin Durant 2007 Topps Chrome, and I'll talk about that when I show you the cards after. Tom Brady Bowman Chrome rookie 2000, that was graded a 9 from GMA. I had a Donruss Optic Patrick Mahomes green prism that was graded a 9. I had a pink prism of the same Mahomes, graded a 10. I had the silver prism, Patrick Mahomes, graded 10. I had the red and yellow prism of Patrick Mahomes, graded 10. I had the rookies prism, graded 10. There's a theme here with Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, he is the latest and greatest in the NFL, and if you're not collecting his cards, in my opinion, you're wrong if you're not doing that. And I have a Baker Mayfield red and yellow rookie prism, also graded 10. So I cracked these out of the case, and I'll show you real quick. If you've never done this before, I'm going to do it on this Michael Jordan. This is just a 1996 Flair, graded an 8 from GMA. What I did is I crack them open, and I'll show you real quick. I recommend you do this over a trash can if you've never done this before, but take a pair of wire cutters, and you just grab a hold of the corner and give it a good tug, And like I said, plastic flying everywhere. Once you crack that corner, make sure you do it on the top side where you have room and not down at the bottom. You get enough of a hole in there to wedge a screwdriver, and you just walk it right across the top until you free up the top part of this slab, and then you pull and you'll sort of hear the seal come apart, and once it does, you're in business. So, and that's what I did for all those cards, and I was very careful when I did this because obviously the more these cards are handled, the more likely damage is going to occur. So I'm very meticulous when I did this. And then you can see here, you just flip them over and card and the tag fall right out. And so that's, look at what I did there, and how I popped those cards out. So I took them out of the slab and I cased them up the way PSA wanted them. GMA, when you send them off, you ship them in just the plastic top loader, which I feel is better for the card. I put a plastic sleeve in there when I do it. PSA, they want them in the card saver holders, which are more flimsy and easier to bend, so you got to be careful and make sure you have them seated in there, and then that they're not going to get damaged in shipment. So make sure you put plenty of bubble wrap and whatnot around it. But that's the difference in how to ship them. GMA, they want you to sort of put them in a brick and tape them together, and PSA, they want you to throw them in between some cardboard and rubber bands, and both ways have been effective for me. So I'll break out the PSA shipment. This is how it comes, depending on the size. Obviously, they ship them back to you priority mail. They send you your paperwork and throw some bubble wrap in there. But here are the cards, and I'll go through these real quick and show you how they came back. So if you remember that Michael Jordan GMA graded in 8, this is the same card graded a 7 through PSA, so 1 grade lower. The Bird Magic Rookie was graded an 8 through GMA and a 6 through PSA, so 2 grades lower. I knew this one. A lot of these cards have they had print defects and print issues, as you can see them on there. That was actually from the print roller along the card. But overall, I mean, the cards, each individual card is well centered on there, and the corners are in pretty good shape. But they felt a 6 was the valid grade on that, which I'm not going to complain. That still holds value. This one was very upsetting to me, and I'll tell you why. This card was flawless when I took it out of the case. I would not have spent $20 to get this graded if there was an existing flaw on it. When I got it back, I looked immediately and noticed that a corner is dinged up here, which was not the case when I shipped it. And to make matters worse, when I flip it over, you can't, it may be hard to see, but the sealant is ripped off the back corner, and I don't know if this got stuck in the card saver, something happened in shipment, or if it happened when it was there. I don't have evidence, but I can tell you, I can give you my word that I didn't ship it like that. So something happened between it leaving my home and coming back that really detracts from the value of this card, which, graded a 10 is much more valuable than graded a 4. So very upsetting, and obviously I can't prove anything. That's part of the problem. When you send them off for grading, you're at the mercy. Just know that there's always a chance of something happening, so you need to be prepared for that. So I'm going to consider this an oddity and a one-time thing. I've never had it happen before through GMA or PSA. Needless to say, it's pretty upsetting. I had anticipated this potentially coming back a 9 because of the centering. I think it's just slightly off. GMA may be a little more lenient on the centering than PSA, but I mean, other than that, a flawless card, and it's just very frustrating that happens. So take care when you're packaging these things. I'll move on to the Tom Brady. This was graded a 9 through GMA and an 8 through PSA. Very nice card. The corners are great on it. The surface looks really good. You can see the centering's off. But overall, I mean, just a great looking card. The lime green, the Patrick Mahomes lime green, was graded a 9 through GMA and a 7 through PSA, and there is surface scratching on here. Once I cracked it out of the case from GMA, they did pick up on that. So they're definitely picking up on flaws on the cards, and for the most part, they're doing a good job at identifying them. It's just where the grade falls out is a little different. The pink prism from GMA was graded a 10, and here you see graded a 9 through PSA. The problem is I don't know what is giving it the 9. It could be centering. I mean, the card looks flawless from what I could see surface, and the corners are pristine. So my only guess is that centering took that down to a mint rather than a gem mint. The hollow prism was graded a 10 through GMA, also a 10 from PSA, so that one's spot on. The red and yellow, same, 10 from GMA, 10 from PSA. Beautiful card. The rookies, that's an optic. Great card, 10 through both companies again. And then the Baker Mayfield, 10 from both. So pretty good grading overall. I'm going to go back real quick to the Jordan card, and I'm going to pull this up for you. Give me a second while I move the phone real quick. And so I actually purchased that Jordan card on eBay, and it was a Beckett BCCG grading, and it was graded a 9 through them. And so you can see the photo there. It's the same card, so I've cracked it out of a few cases, and I will keep it in the PSA. But there's the shot of both of them there. Same exact card. The centering's off, as you can see, but overall, it's a great looking card. So here's the breakdown that I did, and you can see for scoring wise how they compared the GMA grade to the PSA grade. And you see down at the bottom, I averaged out, we got a 9, and for these, I'm not taking into account that Kevin Durant. I'm gonna just chalk that up to bad luck, and know that was not sent to them that way, and I have no way of proving otherwise. So I gotta live with it. That's part of the game that we play. But so I took the other 9 cards and I graded them out, and it was a 9.33 overall average, not including the Kevin Durant card, and an 8.56. So you see the difference of a 0.78 variance from what I have. So from this, I can say that GMA is slightly less stringent grader than PSA from what I see, but overall fairly comparable. Granted, this is only a 9 card lot for you to compare, but all the comparisons that I see out there are from personal opinion, so I really wanted to get some factual evidence behind it. Obviously, the more times the cards are handled, the less likely that they are to be graded effectively from another company when you send it. PSA is known to be a little less stringent than Beckett overall based on opinion, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to stick with GMA, and I'm going to stick with them not because they're a little more lenient on grades. I will say consistently that they have done a very good job picking up on any flaws of a card. I haven't gotten any back that have been 10s that I thought shouldn't be 10s. And if you don't do this, I recommend you work on pre-grading your cards on your own, because you can save a lot of money that way. You don't want to just ship them in if they're, it's rare that I get a card back that's graded low, unless it's with known flaws, something like the bird card that I know is probably going to grade fairly low, but is still going to hold a lot of value graded that low. But I'm not sending in cards that are going to come back graded 4s and 5s. I'm not going to waste the money on it. And you can look for, the specific things you want to look for in these cards. And I'll pop out this Patrick Mahomes real quick. For those who haven't done card grading before, the things that the companies are going to look at, obviously they check the edges of the card to make sure there are no flaws along the edges. And sometimes the way companies cut them, you can have flaws that are out of your control. It's just the way they were cut. They're going to look at corners and make sure there are no bent corners, which is a common theme with cards. They're going to look at centering, both left, right, up, down. And if you put them under a light, you can really get a good look at the surface, and you sort of just walk your way along the card, and you can see if there are any flaws on there. And you pick up something like this Mahomes, which I thought was a flaw there, but clearly it's not. Just looks like a little dust. So pre-grade them before you send them. You can save yourself a lot of hassle, time, and money, and it's worth doing. The packaging from GMA, I think, is quite well. They'll ship them in these big cardboard boxes, which are very good for keeping your collections in order as well. And they have very fast shipping as well. GMA will accept all shipping, UPS, FedEx, US Postal Service. PSA will only select FedEx and US Postal Service. They do not accept UPS. But they'll send them in, and they'll give you what in my opinion is a honest review of your cards. And if you're just looking to get them slabbed to keep in your collection, I would definitely recommend going to this company, and in hopes that they start to catch on, and I think they put out a quality product. Their customer service is great. There've been a few people really dinging them online for grading reprint cards, which I personally don't have a problem with. Some people do. They're mad that cards that are reprinted, that are fakes, that they're graded. I don't really care as long as they say reprint on them, which they do. They will check your cards for reprints, and if it's a reprint, they will say so, but they'll still slab it for you and send it back. Some people don't like the fact that they do that. I could really care less. I mean, people are sending cards in, they want them slabbed. They've paid $3 or $3.50, so they slab them up and send them back. But just keep an eye out on that. It will say reprint right here on the tag if it's a reprint. So if you're looking online and you're buying cards, just keep an eye out for that. But overall, the process is pretty simple to send into GMA. I'll pull up a spreadsheet here. You just generate their spreadsheet and put in all your information. There's a breakdown for shipping costs. If you want to pay for PayPal or credit or check, I usually do PayPal with them, and they'll send a invoice, and you just list out your cards here. They already have their standard lines of what they put on them, but they just want to make sure that you're giving them the correct card, and they're putting the right information on there. PSA, they have a little nifty handout that you can print, and it basically walks you through everything. They have an online submission center. You can do everything right online. It's a very easy process. They have very clear guidelines of how to package the cards and how to ship them off. And I've been happy. Aside from this one Kevin Durant debacle, I've been very happy with their product as well. But in my opinion, it's difficult to beat $3.50 a card and the 7-day turnaround time and good customer service. They'll respond quickly to emails and messages. And PSA has great customer service as well. Just turnaround time is longer and more expensive. So all up to you what you want to do in the end. But I really just wanted to let everyone know what I've learned and what the process has been like, and give some good honest comparisons. So if you're buying cards on eBay, it's worth looking into GMA, and it's worth checking them out to get them graded. And I will say as well, I got a lot of people who, on my GMA graded cards that I'm selling, they want to try and be bullies online and try to pressure you into selling them for really cheap because they're graded by what they consider a substandard company. At the end of the day, remember that you're buying the card and you're not buying the grading company. The grading company is going to verify, and you want that grading company to be legitimate, and you want them to put out a good product and know that what you're getting is a good score. But as you can see for the newer cards, I think they're pretty well in line with PSA standards. And some of the older cards are slight variants, but they weren't marking them a perfect 10 to begin with. So I'm very happy, and please leave any comments, and I'm going to do some more videos. If there's anything you'd like to see, I'm all about experimenting and making sure that we have valid companies out there and that they're getting the credit that they deserve. So hopefully this helps, and we'll see you all again soon. Thanks for your time.